talking about moods and depression and all of the things, mental health that go with perimenopause and menopause this month, because it is May when I am recording these, and therefore it is National Mental Health Awareness Month. So when we get into perimenopause and our hormones start to get a little chaotic, all of the chemicals and the neurotransmitters that regulate moods, that help you to feel happy and uplifted, all of these things are going to be kind of chaotic themselves, right? So even if you have previously been diagnosed with depression or bipolar or some kind of mood disorder, right? OCD or any of those kinds of things, and you have since gotten those under control, or you have learned how to live within the parameters that are working for you. As you start to get into perimenopause, you're going to notice that you need to recalibrate again. So depression could come back. Symptoms that were under control might come back. So these are things that you need to be aware of, and you need to remember that asking for help, having these conversations is going to be the best thing that you can do. Now, there are other things that you can do, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about your diet and depression. So there are some things that we do that are not going to serve us when it comes to our moods, when it comes to depression. And those things, unfortunately, those habits are going to be habits that we gravitate towards. So eating foods that are high in preservatives, eating foods that are high in carbs. These are foods that they're like knee-jerk reaction. Your body is going to crave them, and it's just easier to give in to the urge to sit down with a box of Captain Crunch and work your way through the whole thing until you feel better. That is going to be easier than trying to remember that you're going to feel worse afterwards, that you're going to end up in a spiral, that you're going to take in way more calories than you need to. You're going to end up with bloating. You're going to end up with a headache. You're going to end up feeling even more moody. Those outcomes usually are going to be harder to hold on to during this time. So you have to have kind of habits in place that are going to help you. Okay, so that might mean not bringing those foods into the house for a while. That might mean having kind of a system of checks and balances, right? So maybe having a food journal that you can rely on, writing down what you're feeling, foods that you're choosing, what the outcome is. That's going to help you to remember when these foods don't feel good, okay? Because the physical symptoms sometimes are not enough to get us there. So things that are not going to serve you, and I'm going to list them out here. So that's going to be foods high in preservatives, foods that are high in carbs, right? So like those simple carbs, so junk food, donuts and pastries and fried foods, things like that. Those are not going to serve you. Fried foods, fast food, stuff like that. Caffeine. Unfortunately, caffeine is a trigger food for a lot of women during perimenopause. Now, there's good news that eventually we can start to add these foods back in if we choose to. The caffeine and the alcohol, that one's coming up. So you can start to add these things back in as you transition from perimenopause into postmenopause. If you choose to. But for a period of time, especially if you're starting your journey into perimenopause, those foods are going to be very triggering. It's my experience with women in their late 30s to mid 40s that's the time period when those foods have the biggest impact on like depression, mood swings, and even like how you're sleeping and those kinds of things. So keep that in mind. So foods that you want to eat more of, you want to eat more foods that are going to be nourishing. So you want to have more lean proteins, right? So more, nuts and seeds and soy foods, like whole soy foods, like edamame and those kinds of things. Those are all really good. Eggs, if you like eggs, or if you're eating, like chicken or turkey, fish is going to be a really great one. So those kinds of lean proteins that have the good healthy fats involved with them. And fiber. It always comes back to fiber. I think in every single one of my videos at some point I mention eating more fiber, and that's because it really works. So if you are experiencing fluctuations in estrogen where it's very, chaotic, right? You have a large estrogen like a lot of estrogen in your body one day, and then a little bit the next. Those days when it's high are the days when you're really going to feel the effects, right? So estrogen dominance, we call that. So if you're eating fiber, it's going to kind of strip some of that away. Good news is that high fiber diet is also going to strip away some of that sugar. It's also going to strip away some of that cholesterol as you're eating. So it kind of detoxifies every single time that you eat. So making sure that you're having a lot of those fresh fruits and veggies and the whole grains along with those lean proteins, it's going to get you a really long way towards balancing out your moods a little bit better because you have the raw materials to make the hormones that you do need. You're flushing away things that you don't need. So it's all about finding balance. Your body is really good about finding balance. You just have to give it the raw materials to do so. So remember to recap, try to avoid foods that are going to be triggers. So that's your caffeine, that's your alcohol, that's your sugar, lots and lots of sugar. Not to say you can't eat it, but to keep it in moderation. And then like your junk food, right? So the salty foods, the foods that you look at the label and it's all preservatives on there, and then create your own list of triggers with your food journal. And then eat more of those whole foods, eat more of those plant-based foods, eat more of those bright colored fruits and veggies and those lean proteins. And I think you're going to notice a difference really, really quickly. Most of my clients notice it within about 2 weeks that they feel really good. And then keep in mind that if you're experiencing depression that is debilitating, if you're experiencing mood swings that are running your life, then it's time to have that conversation. It's time to talk to your provider and say, this is debilitating. And in most cases, it's probably not going to be so much of an antidepressant kind of a conversation, but more of a hormone replacement therapy kind of a conversation. And that is okay. Take your information with you, be well armed, and stand your ground and be an advocate for yourself. And know that if you are looking for a provider who is knowledgeable around perimenopause and menopause, you can go to the NAMS website, North American Menopause Society. You can just Google that, and they have a list of providers by zip code that are familiar, that have gone through the trouble of being certified as a NAMS provider, who have done continuing education around this topic, who are more knowledgeable. So that's always an option too. So I hope for you to have a fabulous rest of your day. I hope that you take a little bit of time for some self-care. And my wish for you is that as you journey through your perimenopause, you're feeling empowered to make the changes so that you can be living your best life. If you don't already follow me on Instagram, please go over and follow me over there. I am perimenopause.nutritionist over there. Make sure you put that dot in there. And if you're not already a member of the Perimenopause Society, that is my membership program where I work with women just like you. And it's a monthly membership. So you come in, you stay as long as you need, and then you leave when you're all done with us. You get yoga, you get nutrition, you get all of the things to help you create that lifestyle that you thought you would be living now, right? That nice healthy lifestyle that you've been working towards. So thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you so much for being a part of my fan club. I appreciate you. I love what I do. I love helping women to feel amazing, and I love that you are here for it all. I will talk to you next time. Have a fabulous rest of your day.